We are back. It is episode 135 Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John and
It's got torrential waters today.
Torrential Waters,
but
and our special guest.
but listen here, kids. Nobody cares about what we have to say. We all know that. No. We have a thrash metal legend in the house today from Corpus Christi, Texas, from Anialator. Please introduce yourself, my good man.
How's it going out there? My name is Alex Dominguez. I am the bass player for the Texas Anialator. Got to put the Texas in there.
And I'll let you know that when I bought this album from Vinyl Edge, he was careful to point out and place on this is the original baggie. It says Texas Anialator, not to be confused with Canada.
Right there. That's a smart guy to do that.
That's right.
Yeah. I've also played bass for Devastation, also a Texas band. I was on the demo, their first demo, and then rejoined in 2008. And I didn't make that album, Carcass.
Yep. But you were on the demos for this.
I was on the demo before that, and then also in 2008, I rejoined them, and we toured Europe doing Idolatry, and came back and hopped on a Soulfly tour in the United States. So if anybody remembers that, but anyway, that's who I am.
That's awesome. So, Carcass, you had something funny that you said about the spelling of Anialator.
I'll let Alex tell you about the spelling because I always thought it was odd, but since I speak Spanish, I just said, well, that's how you spell it in Spanish. Maybe it's a Texas thing. I don't know. So Alex, go ahead. You're on.
It's more like not paying attention in school and being a bad speller thing. Back then there was no computers, no internet. I mean, there was computers, but there was no internet to do searches on what names were taken or anything. So one day, I mean, after I left Devastation, I was like, replaced Devastation. I was like, shit, I mean, what am I gonna do? I want to start another band. I mean, why not? So I sat there and thought about it, got a piece of paper, wrote Anialator the way it's spelled there, and didn't even look it up in the dictionary because there were dictionaries back then, and left it that way, and then figured, oh yeah, maybe I spelled it right when I didn't spell it right, but it stuck. So that's being a bad speller kind of helped me out.
There you go. So when did the band actually start? Because I know that would it have been like 85 or 6?
Yeah, like I want to say early 86 maybe.
Okay.
That's what I got. I went and started searching for members and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Charles.
Yeah, there's a Charles Sepulveda who's he's been in Burn the Boats, and he was at Cemeterian for a short time, and now he's in a new joint called Eat the Decay.
Yeah, he's actually the drummer that drums for them is playing drums in Anialator and plays guitar in Anialator. So JD.
Oh, wow. From Dagra.
Yeah, from Dagra, from Severance, and him and his wife have a new band. It's killer, man. It's called Excella. Oh, I probably say it wrong, but I think it's more the lines like that. Awesome band.
Well, Texas is steeped in metal for everybody who doesn't already know, but it's also steeped in controversy. So, but it's kind of cool how everybody kind of helps everybody else out. Like you said, he's got connections to Dagra and Severance and other bands, and so that's kind of fun that you're able to tap into other sources for killer musicians. Yeah. Who else have you added to the latest rendition? Because that was the hint.
Well, first off, with JD actually started playing drums for us back in 2000. I think it was like, I want to say maybe 18, 19. He filled in a couple of shows. We lost a drummer and he stepped in, and we went to Mexico City this past time, he filled in on guitar. So this dude is like multi-talented, man. I mean, he can, play guitar like a shredder, and he can play drums like, Gene Hoglan, Dave Lombardo, stuff like that. I mean, he's just excellent. But also added to the new lineup, I have another guitar player here out of Houston. His name is Dave Collier, or Dave of Death, as some people may know him, or Dave Relic, as some people may know him. He plays with Oath of Cruelty. He plays with PLF. He used to be in that cult band. You say it better than I do,
Morbosidad.
There you go. Yeah, he was in that band also. So yeah, they're legends in their own right themselves, because they're the newer. I wouldn't say too new, but the old guys like me are way up here. They're the ones who came after us in
the 2000s, more or less.
They're the ones that came up after us and are just tearing shit up. Dave is like a touring machine. Every time I turn around, he was in the Netherlands this weekend doing that Netherlands Death Fest with PLF. Before that, he was out in Chicago playing with Pentagram from Chile. He did a show there, and then he flew to California and did another show there with
with Oath,
another band. So
yeah. So speaking of touring, I know you guys are working on new music, right? And any thought about hitting the road now that things seem to be returning to normal?
Yeah. After everybody got rid of their colds, yeah. I don't know. Right now, we're just gonna concentrate on writing. Not really. We have a show at Malevolent Creation coming up May 25th, I think, 25th or 26th. My bad for not knowing that, but it's we have a show there in Corpus Christi with them. But other than that, we're just gonna stay concentrating on writing new material. More than likely, I've been in contact with our old label, Extreme, and they're like excited, about wanting to hear the new stuff. So, I sent you a song. I don't know if you were able to hear it or not, Carcass.
I just barely made it to the broadcast, so I'll have dessert after supper.
If you knew how much we flew by the seat of our pants on this stupid show, I've heard blazing in here on two wheels at the last second.
I've heard people have done interviews in their work clothes. I mean, have actually been on this broadcast in their work clothes.
Oh yeah, Carcass did it from the car once.
Yeah. Actually, I've done it several times.
He's dedicated.
Yeah, that one where I was late to the broadcast, and you guys had me on the phone or whatever, and I got snarled up in traffic in our infamous north side toll road.
Off the cuff is sometimes better. You don't overthink it. You just kind of flow with it,
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, because if you think we do show prep, man, you got another thing coming. But we intended for the show to be this way, where it's just dudes meeting up and talking about metal. So speaking of, I'm looking at your Discogs page, and I kind of want to do a brief sort of behind the music of the band, and I want to educate people that don't know. TJ Lewis from Forebode showed up and said he's ready for school, so we're going to give him some school.
That's right.
So give us a little bit of brief history, like when the 12-inch came out, the white with the black logo on it. That's the only thing Anialator I've ever had. I'm a complete moron because I go to your page on Discogs to look at what you've got, and I am behind. So I've got some homework to do. But so give us kind of the surrounding time, around 88 when the EP came out. Tell us how that came about and kind of what happened around that time surrounding the original EP.
Well, the original, first off, we recorded we ended up recording our demo off of reel to reel. I think the guy I think the guy had mic'd up, he owned a music store where we recorded at, and he mic'd up some stuff on a reel to reel. And to me personally, in my opinion, it's kind of weird because the demo should have been the LP, the EP, the first EP, the black and white one. and the EP, the black and white one, should have been the demo because the guitars and the production on the demo were, to me, were like excellent for the time. Where the EP, the black and white one, is kind of the guitar tones and just the playing in general is kind of rough. Only because when we went to record it, first off, let me back up a little bit. What happened is we recorded this demo, and I went to this store in San Antonio called Hogwild back in 80. I want to say maybe it was like 80, no, about 85. Had to be about 85. I went to Hogwild and I bought this magazine. I don't know what it was, but it had an advertisement for Wild Ride Records. It says we're accepting demos, and I'm like, oh fuck, I got it. We recorded. Let me send them a demo. So we had, I guess, just been together and recorded. Everything happened really quick. I ended up sending him a demo, Richard from Wild Rags, and I got a reply back quick. And he actually called me on the phone and said he wanted to do an EP with us. Of course, back then, or with this company, we had to pay for our own recording. That was one thing. And so we decided just to record 4 songs because that's probably all the money we could afford. Second of all, anywhere in our city to record was either country or Tejano. Nobody had ever recorded metal. And we decided, well, we'll go with this Tejano place because I think it was our drummer, Alonso Garcia's brother. He had a brother that was a drummer that was connected to, tied into like the Tejano scene. So he kind of got us in. We got into this place called Hacienda Records. And we set up, and it was a nightmare, man. It was like, had us in isolation booths, which we were used to just looking at each other play in a practice room. That was one thing. And these guys were like, as soon as we hit the first chord, they were like, no, hold on. Hey, can you take off all the distortion? And we're like, oh, no, we can't take off the distortion. No. Like, oh, well, can you slow it down? No, we can't slow it down. That's the way we play. So it just turned into a learning experience, put it that way. And we're, if you listen to it, the first EP, the black and white one, the timing's kind of off. It's kind of rough, but I guess that's what gives it its, I want to say character, maybe you could say. People were like, oh, this is awesome and this and that. When I go back and listen to it, I'm like, or somebody will put it on at a party and be like, dude, can you take that off? It's like, it's kind of rough, but I mean, it is what it is at the time. But that was the first one. We put it out. We did some shows and stuff. We ended up opening up for Slayer in San Antonio. I did the South of Heaven tour. It was just us and Slayer, and we played shows with like Blood Cum. We did some stuff with the Crumbsuckers. We did stuff with like Rigor Mortis. I mean, if it wasn't for Rigor Mortis, Bruce and Rigor Mortis, we probably would have never been able to get into the Dallas market. They were the first ones to bring us up there and actually, exposed us to the Dallas, DFW, Arlington, y'all scene up there. We brought them down once to Corpus in the beginning, and our original singer, Mark Arispe, had a brother who was promoting shows. Somehow he got a hold of a Rigor Mortis demo, asked them if they wanted to play, brought them to Corpus. We ended up playing with them, became friends. I became real good friends with Bruce. And anytime I would call him up, hey, can we, y'all have a show? We can get, yeah. He would never turn it. I mean, he'd say, y'all are on it. We played Joe's Garage numerous times. And that's another story for maybe later on in the podcast and in the cast. But getting back to the EP, that's basically how we did the first EP. It was mainly everything that we recorded on the demo. We recorded it to EP except for one song, which I'm still kind of questioning. We really don't know why. There was a song on the demo that didn't make the EP. It was called Feel the Pain. It's on the demo, but it didn't make the black and white EP. But after we did that, some real quick trivia. Wild Rags, we were actually the first band on Wild Rags to have a color vinyl, because if you go back and look at their Wild Rag Records releases, it was just the sleeve, a black sleeve with the record, the hole cut out in the middle, and it just had you could just read the label off the album. That was all they, I think it was called the Hardcore series or something like that. It was just plain silver, black lettering, and that was it. I kind of came up with the idea of asking him like, hey, well, you think it'd be expensive just to do like a couple of colors or 2 colors? He looked into it, and I guess it was in his budget. So we ended up actually having, the red, the blood dripping back in the back of the EP that has the skull hanging on the Texas and the blood dripping. So that was our color. So we were the first band to actually have color on there. And then, so the second one, he was interested in doing another one because that one sold really well that we went back into a different studio where this guy was, I guess, more of a 70s type rock guy. His name was, I can't remember his last name. His first name was George, and his studio was called Apple Crate Records. He had it out of a garage, and that's the second EP. Also, too, for some reason, I don't know why we never named our EPs. It just stayed Anialator on both of them. It's like Anialator, the first one, black and white, second one, Anialator. And I was like, why don't y'all call it something? I was like, well, shit, I don't know. Why didn't we call it something? So we identified the black and white EP as the white EP or black and white EP. The second one was made into a color disc, which 1,000 red discs were printed up at the time. And we just kind of use that as a reference. Oh, the Red Album. Okay. People know we're talking about the red disc. Later on, when I guess I finally got a computer and got on AOL, got one of those discs where you slide in and you used to, dial you up. So I started looking on eBay and I ran across this guy in Switzerland that was selling an Anialator vinyl, a blue vinyl, which I never knew it existed in blue. And I was like, blue, no way. I looked at the picture. I was like, oh shit. I ended up buying it for like $70 or whatever. And I never knew where the blue came from, because apparently after we did two EPs and a picture disc with wire rags, we ended up changing our name to something else. And then we kind of broke ties with him and didn't keep contact. So I never knew that. I guess Richard ended up, from what I was told, ended up printing another 1,000 of them in blue vinyl. But when he got, I don't know what happened, he somehow got in trouble with the law or something, and he had a record store and it was a record label in one. They confiscated his, they closed up his business and auctioned everything off. And somebody ended up buying like 500 copies of that blue vinyl, but half of them were destroyed from water damage. So I don't know the story, but I know there's a few in existence, but not very many.
The one that I got was heavily water damaged, but the vinyl was fine.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was one of those. That's weird. That's interesting history.
Yeah, so, yeah. That's kind of. I mean, it's weird to know that there were, and I had talked to Rodney one time when he was on Rodney from Devastation. I think he was roading for Massacre in Europe or something at one time, and he had told me when he came back he had seen in one of the record stores a clear vinyl of Anialator on clear vinyl. I was like, what? Back then, that's even before I knew about the blue one, but maybe he was thinking about the blue one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
interesting. So you do the 2 EPs in 88 and 89, and then you said you changed the name of the band. Now, was that to get away from Anialator, or did the band members change and there was kind of a changing of the guard, or what made you change the band name?
One all I gotta say is Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how many times did you have to tell people?
Like I was saying, I didn't know. I mean, there was no way of like now, if you do a trademark search, you know what's taken, what's not on the computer or whatever. So back then, I didn't know until I started seeing magazines after we had put out the EPs, where I remember their demo came out, and then I remember seeing their demo advertised, and then I remember next thing I know I'm picking up a magazine, a black and white one, and they're on Road Racer, I think it was called back then. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I mean, come on. I mean, we're on Wild Rags, like a little speck of, a record label, and they're on, Roadrunner, that's huge, at the time, and it's like, and then it just, I kind of wanted to be one of those bands. I kind of wanted to be like Devastation, where I wanted to get signed. I wanted to tour. I wanted to put out an album, tour again. I wanted to, try to. Back then, it was not actually like. It was actually, you could make a living off a plane if you had landed a record deal. Where nowadays, I don't know if you can even do that anymore. Try to make a living off of, tour a lot, and I don't know how that that works. But back then, that's what I really wanted to do with the band was. Become a legit touring band, put out, on a good label like Metal Blade, not knocking Wild Rags, because Wild Rags did what he did for the underground. We got a lot of mail from everywhere, considering, there was no computers back in the day. Every day I'd come home, my mom was like, hey, got something from Japan, something from Chile, something from Colombia, from Switzerland, and people all writing. So magazines, he did really well in getting the name out. But I wanted to take it further. I wanted to, actually, like I said, be like Devastation. They were going on tour with Death and Dark Angel and, Last Rocket and whoever else, and I wanted to do that. So I thought about it. In order for us to get to the next level where if I sent new music in and they looked at the envelope and said, well, not Anialator, there's already Thrash, without even giving it a listen because.
Right.
That's something that it sounds the same, it's spelled different, but back then it didn't matter if it spelled different, it just wouldn't have worked. So I ended up coming up with another band name called Sufferance, and we ended up doing Sufferance, and I wrote that out for like almost 10 years.
Right.
90 all the way through. We did like 5 Milwaukee Metal Fest. We went on tour with a month tour with a band called Morbid Symphony. We played with opening up here in our hometown. We opened up for Marilyn Manson. We opened up for, we had a lot of, we opened up for Down when they first put out their first album. The guy who was kind of managing us, his name is Sean Baruch out of Houston. He was kind of managing us at the time. Was really good friends with Jack Koshnick, from the guy who used to throw the Milwaukee Metal Fest. And he had Down they were doing a Midwest show. I think they were only doing eight dates for that album that had just come out. That's all they were going to do, I think, because Phil was too busy. So we drove all the way to Milwaukee for one show with Down and then came back home. So, we went everywhere we could. We didn't care if we had to drive if we could, to Hawaii, we would go just to go play with somebody or open up for somebody and stuff. So. And that's why we ended up changing the name, really, because I wanted to take it further, and I felt like we were kind of held back by the name, and the music started evolving, where I thought, we might actually have a chance to get signed, but it seemed like every time we had our foot in the door, that's all we could get in was just like your big toe, and then the door would slam, and it's like, let's try something else, and we get into the door again a little bit, it looks like, we got signed twice, and both times one of the record companies was out of Houston called Sector 2 Records. They were a new record label, and we got signed to them. They put all this publicity into us. They flew us out to LA to go mix our album over there in Paramount Studios, where those big Ice Cube and all those big people do all that shit and stuff, and they went bankrupt. It was like, holy crap, it just pull the plug, it's done. No label, no release. Now it's like, okay, so we had that kind of luck. We're that band that had that kind of luck. So
I've been there and done that. Unfortunately,
I'm long-winded on the stories. I'll try to make them shorter, but.
No, this is your show, brother. You tell. We want to hear the Joe's Garage story. We want all of it, man, dude.
I was gonna say, Scott probably it looks like you guys are following like a parallel universe, because his band Ultimatum, and I don't know. I guess I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, Ultimatum. It's like a meteoric rise, and then all of a sudden you hit the ceiling, and
yep.
And what do you do?
I feel like it's only with Texas bands. I don't know why. I don't know. It seems like it's
Nah, we're a New Mexico band. We had the same issues.
It's just weird, man. I don't know. Texas should have a lot more bigger bands and more known, I guess, like known bands than what we really do, like New York and California and Florida, and even other states like Iowa and now Virginia is coming out with bands and stuff like that. It was just, I don't know what's up with. I mean, there's a few bands I know. Like I guess you guys, I just noticed. I read a band about a band called, I think it's Frozen Souls, that come from this area.
Yeah, they're from Arlington. Yeah,
and they're doing some stuff, and so I guess maybe it was just during the 80s or something, or the 90s too.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier when I called and was touching base with you earlier in the day, and you said the same thing. There's so many. I mean, I got to Texas in '84. I got here as fast as I could so I could establish my grip on society in Texas. And man, this place is just stacked with just killer bands in every city. And I remember being in Houston in '84. It was no problem for me to drive to Corpus to see Devastation, or to go to San Antonio and see San Antonio Slayer, or come to Dallas and see Gamacide or Hammer Witch or Rigor Mortis, or Austin and see Activator, or Dangerous Toys, or something with Jason, one of the 800,000 bands Jason McMaster's part of. So, but that was just what we did. We just got in the car and drove, and man, hundreds of bands. I mean, maybe that's how we make our millions, as we write a book about Texas metal or something, and you'd have volumes. We'd have to put people on that book club thing, and they'd have to buy a new volume every month. But anyway, so you've rekindled Anialator again. So Sufferance is back on the shelf, I guess.
Yeah, Sufferance ended up. I guess I want to say after 10 years, I kind of just ended up walking away from it. And the other two guitar players that were in the band kept on going with it, which I was like, more power to you guys. I'm done with it, or whatever. And they went a little bit more, and then they ended up changing their name. And Sufferance just, two of the members that were actually in our band have passed away. So the drummer was like, everybody's real close to the drummer, that they felt like doing another thing with Sufferance would kind of like, I don't know, wouldn't be not right, but it just didn't feel right without him, So we just let it go, and then we all went our separate ways, and that was it. That was into Sufferance. And then, of course, I'm a lifer, man. I after Anialator I did Anialator, and then I jumped right into Sufferance. I've done this for, I don't know, 35 years or something, and I've constantly been in a band from the time I started Anialator to starting Anialator again. I've never stopped. Maybe I think I take that back. I stopped for 2 years because my little girl got sick, and I just quit playing. And we had a lot of hospital visits and this and that, so I didn't really have time to form a band or do anything. And then it so happened that I ended up coming back and forming another band. Well, actually getting together with some guys, and we formed another band called Killamora back in after that. And then I just, the whole, I just kept on going after that. It was something else or that. I mean, like right now I'm dabbling, actually it's a band, but I got together with a bunch of guys in where I used to live in Corpus, and we made a band called Ill Adjusted, which is in the vein of like kind of like Agnostic Front. We're trying to make it like Agnostic Front, kind of like thrashier, but still hardcore, more hardcore. Not the new hardcore, but I'm talking about like Eggs, and I'm talking about Agnostic Front, Leeway, Sick of It All, all those kind of things. I'm doing that, so I've never stopped. I never quit playing in a band and then disappear and then come back, and after everybody's gone from your house, or and try to do it again. In fact, when I went on the Devastation tour in Europe, my little girl was just 8 weeks old, and I was like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to Europe to go play with Devastation. And my ex-wife at the time was like, she's, you're leaving her, this and that, which is bad. I probably am a bad father for that, but I was like, she ain't gonna remember, But that's just the way it was. I'm a lifer, I'll keep playing, even if Anialator, if I do put Anialator into Anialator, I'll start something else until probably I can't even play anymore. So I'm, arthritis and can't think straight and already wearing adult diapers and shitting in my, using the restroom in my diaper, but so.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, so Charles has a question. He says, so the drummer from Killamora was the one on the reunion tour in 2008. Is that right?
Yes, he was the one who played in the Devastation reunion. Yes.
Okay, cool. Go through.
What was his name? Because I knew of you, Alex, but I didn't really get to know you until that Devastation reunion tour, and you parked a giant tour bus out in front of my house, and we did.
I didn't park it. Wall parked it.
Wall parked it. Yeah, that's right. It was a real DIY thing. In fact, that was the old Pantera bus, wasn't it?
It was the old Pantera bus, from what I was told, and before that, it was actually Vinny had actually bought it from the band Rat.
Oh, well, hey, there you go, Rob.
Yeah. Rat. That was Rat's tour, I guess, first tour bus. And in fact, that little sign that you have in the front,
yes,
it had a bunch of little sayings on the front. And a funny thing is, I don't know if you remember, we went to Oklahoma to play a show, and we thought it was a show, but when we pulled up, it ended up being a birthday party for like one of the Banditos, like the leaders of the Banditos or something, in a small bar. So we're like, we're here. We pull up in this tour bus. We're here. I guess they're gonna pay us or whatever, and free beer and barbecue and stuff. So me being the asshole I am, right? I went up and I changed the sign, and it said Rat on there. So nobody knew I changed it. So we pulled up. So there's this guy leaning against because it's like a strip mall, but an old strip mall. And there's a store, convenience store, and there's the bar at the end of the corner. So this dude's like in a pink muscle shirt with a mullet, and he has like high tops on and these like stonewashed jeans, and he's just like leaning. So Rodney and I forget Hendry, Elizondo, and some other people went down there to go talk to the people at the bar, and I saw them look that way towards that guy, and that guy's yelling and screaming at him, telling him cussing him out, telling him all kinds of stuff. And it was funny because Ronnie had a friend named Travis. He's a cool dude, right? I don't know if you ever met Travis. You met Travis?
Yeah.
Okay. So that guy's just screaming. So he comes back in. Everybody comes back in the bus to tell us what time, where to load in and all that. I say, hey, what's that guy doing over there? He said, I don't know, man. This idiot keeps screaming something about Rat. And I was like, oh, okay. So we all got our gear, whatever. We walked into the bar to go get something to eat. So we're walking in the parking lot, and this guy starts screaming yet again. I don't want to cuss on here because I don't know how family oriented it is, but he's like, you have mothers. You're not Rat. You're an imposter, and this and that. And Ronnie's just like looking at him. So I was like, I went up. He goes, you're not Rat. I go, man, what? What about it, man? What about it? He's like, you're not Rat because Rat don't have black people in their, because Travis is a black dude. Rat don't have black people in their band. And he's all, I went over there. I started walking over there. Right now, don't start no trouble. So I said, all right. So we went to the bar. We're eating. So this guy's still there. There's a whole bunch of banditos, and this guy's still there screaming, right? So one of the banditos says, hey, what's up with that dude? I said, I don't know. I think he's saying something about you guys suck or some shit. He went into all the way around. That dude jumped over the fence and just went into the apartments. They couldn't find him anymore. But that was funny about that bus. I just thought I'd bring up that story on that bus. And then I told everybody I had changed it to Rat, and everybody got mad at me. Oh, man, you shouldn't do that. And I was like, well, hey, so what?
We're just having fun.
That's brilliant. Gosh, that's funny.
He said it was funny too because he said Rat's playing here next week. I'm gonna tell him like, well, so what? I was like,
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah,
Oh,
that's a story
awesome.
about the tour bus.
That's so. When you mentioned earlier about recording, when are you guys going to start recording?
We've already recorded 4 songs. They're like kind of pre-demoed songs. Just working out, listening to them, and all that. And we have 4 songs complete. JD's, right now JD's like a writing machine. So we got 4 songs that he's recorded, and I sent one to John to listen to. So I figure this is going to be the first time we're actually going to make an LP. I mean, I don't know why. Well, I know why. The beginning parts why we did EPs because we had to pay for them ourselves. We couldn't afford it, and then I want to do an album, maybe like 8, 9 songs, something like that. And I've been in contact with our old label, and they're like, whenever you're ready, I mean, let's do it. Extreme Music out of Spain. They're pretty ecstatic about working with us again. So,
Do they have distro here in the States? I know I have some extreme music.
I don't know. I think he uses several different ones. One of them is that Hell's
Headbangers.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
We know a guy. We know a guy too that does a little distro in his day for No Life No Metal. So we got you covered, man.
All right, I might need an American distributor just for America.
So we already have people asking us when does the new album come out. So realistically, fall, maybe by the end of the year, or
well, I'm hoping maybe the first of next year, like in January. If because I mean we're all adults and everybody works, and then when I asked these guys to play with me too, I mean I knew they were busy with their bands, and they they told me, well, I know I'm in, my bands. I was, oh yeah, I don't want you to quit your band. We'll find time and we'll work and we'll put it together. So, I mean, it could even end up a lot quicker because, like I said, we have 4 songs. It just takes another 4 more to get it done. So, I'm saying maybe fully recorded. I'm hoping it'll be done. The recording by all our recording be done by maybe. What are we in May already? July, August, September. Maybe like September. October. Hopefully, we can have 8 songs recorded and already in the can. And then just a matter of when they want to put it out.
That's awesome. Well, Carcass is an artist. I'm a mastering engineer, and Scott has a metal label. So if there's anything we can do to help,
look at that. I came to the right place.
That's right. One-stop shopper right here.
Right here, man.
That's right.
All we need is another little block, somebody that does videos right there.
Got that handle too.
Yeah, and Scott.
No guy can do that too.
You guys with your vinyl crap. Here we go. I'm a CD guy. I love vinyl. I'm a CD guy, so y'all can make fun of me. I've got like 3,000 CDs. Thrash is vinyl.
Hey, I have a bunch of CDs too, but I have
no CD and LP, please.
I'm a believer in the vinyl.
All right.
I also have this one person out of Houston that he put out the new Insecticide album. I forgot what his company's called, but we call him. I know him by Billy Chocolate. That's what they call him around, Billy Chocolate. So anyway, he's offered to put it out on cassette. So I think we might be doing all kinds of
formats.
Yeah, or cassette albums, CDs.
Yeah, I give the vinyl only guys shit all the time just because I like to poke at people. I get it. I love vinyl too, but man, I've got so many CDs I'll never be able to go back. But the thing that blows me away is because I buy and sell collections as well and stock a couple of shops with metal and and then all sorts of CDs and records. But man, the things that are selling right now, cassettes are out of control. They are selling like crazy.
We just did a bunch.
I didn't even know they make cassette players still. Shit.
Yeah, I just bought a new one,
I
and
don't know
we just,
what they're playing them on.
Some of us have cassette players in every room.
I could have yanked the one. I could have yanked the one out of my mom's car when she was driving a Pinto. That Pinto.
There you go.
Concept.
Yeah, Rob and I
Machine
just
is,
finished the Flotsam and Jetsam catalog on cassette.
Yes, we did.
We did five Flotsam and Jetsam titles.
Dang.
Yep, we did do a bunch of Flotsam and Jetsam. That was pretty fun. So, yeah, if we don't know, we can maybe send you to somebody. You know, now everybody's fighting about the formats in the comments, which I think is awesome. And also, Concept Machine, Nocturnal Breed. I guess that's your label. So I need to.
No, that's his band. That's his band.
That's the band. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I need to check. I got to check into that.
Dude, you need to check them out because, like I said, I didn't see him at Vakken. I had asked if I'd seen him at Vakken in 06.
That's right.
But I think it was Nocturnal Rights instead. But yeah, they absolutely Nocturnal Breed rips.
Okay, I've got Nocturnal Breed pulled up on YouTube right now. So when the show's over, I will check that out. Let's see. Now they're screaming for DVD. Now they're saying they need a Blu-ray.
Hey, Wes.
Oh, okay.
Anybody out there into 8 tracks? Come on, man.
Dude,
hey.
I had a guy give me an 8-track recorder yesterday. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep.
8 tracks like this one.
There you go. Right, can't forget the 8-track. Shoot, it start fading and then click out and click on again and keep on going.
All right. Y'all are talking about formats. I gotta hang on.
Hang on. He's
How about the formats that never made it? Like remember those double ones where they had a DVD on one side and a CD on the other?
Yeah.
Those didn't last.
All right. Here
and then there was the mini discs. Those didn't last long either.
Hair Metal Rob with the
mini disc.
Oh, I forgot about the mini disc.
Yeah, I've got a few of those as well.
Damn,
got a few of them as well.
I forgot about that mini disc. Wow.
Yep. I used to master to this when I first started out, and people shamed me because it was a compressed format, and I didn't know any better. So I just knew it was easily editable. So
any of you vinyl collectors have those little 45s on the cereal box?
Yep. Got one of those.
Yep.
Too.
Oh, yeah.
Flexi disc.
Oh,
dude, my collection is insane. So it's like John's is. So
okay, TJ, your wish is my command. VHS.
Oh yes.
4 mode VHS. Oh, I'm losing my.
Oh, that one, John. Possession.
Oh wow. Yep. That's a cool tape too.
This is what we do, Alex. We get distracted and we start talking about bullshit.
Y'all start running to your wall and starts pulling stuff out. Well, what about?
Yeah, Oh yeah.
You said the magic word though. You said 8-track. So.
Right. That got us started. So, all right. Tell it. We need to know the Joe's Garage story.
Go ahead.
We got invited to go play with Rigor Mortis, and I don't know if Talon was on the bill. There was a band called Talon.
Sedition, right? It was either Sedition or Talon. It was.
I think Talon might have been on the bill, or I'm thinking about when we played with Rigor Mortis at their Capitol release. Concert at that big theater that we played at with them. But at Joe's Garage, we went to play with Rigor Mortis, and the first band was playing and stuff, as I recall. And I was hanging out backstage, and I remember Casey was back there with Mike, and they were talking. I wasn't really paying attention, and things started getting real loud. Somebody came in the room and started just talking loud. And next thing I turn around, Casey and Hardin got this dude up against the wall, and Hardin's like jamming drumsticks in his face, and just a big old ruckus just breaks out in the back. So I go up front of the stage and I tell Bruce, I said, hey, some shit's going down in the back room with Casey and Mike and all them. So Bruce runs back there. Next thing I know, it's just like a scene from I have never seen The Matrix, just commercials of it or previews of it, but just everything around me looked like it was slow motion. This big ass free for all just broke out. Just pool sticks and beer bottles breaking, and that fight comes out from the back of the stage into the club, and you just pounding and pounding and pounding, and finally it rolls like a tumbleweed out the front door. Everything just goes out there, and everybody's fighting in the parking lot. Just one big ass, like looked like one big ass free for all, and Bruce is there standing, and I turn around, he goes, hey, he goes, oh, do I got something on my back? And I turn around and I look, and I said, why is your shirt wet? He goes, it's wet. And he picked it up. He had like stab wounds in his back, man, where somebody had stabbed him in the back during the fight. I said, dude, you're bleeding from your back. He goes, oh, fuck. I'm sorry I'm cussing. I'm trying to keep it clean.
It doesn't matter.
Trying to make it PG. Sorry about that. But
you're good.
He's looking at his shirt. And he's like, oh, he's mad. And I go, you want me to go call somebody? So I was going to call somebody. He goes, I'm not mad. I got stabbed. I'm mad because they messed up my Anialator shirt. And I was like, and we ended up, somebody came running in and said, oh, man, you missed it. The guy that I guess started everything and might have even stabbed Bruce ran across that highway. There was a highway right there, if I remember, at Joe's Garage.
Yeah.
Ran across the highway. A bunch of people jumped in a truck and just hit him with the truck. And I was like, okay, I was like, wow, man, that
sounds like your average rigor mortis show.
That's Joe's Garage thing, In fact, I think even Ab had come into that was his name, right? Ab?
Yeah.
Joe's Garage owner or whatever.
Ab Greek. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he came in. He had somebody had split a beer bottle on his head or something, and it was crazy because I'm just standing there and I'm like, I mean, I don't know anybody because I don't know, who's with Bruce and them or who's against them, and we're just all like standing looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? And it was just everything was just in slow. It was crazy, man. It was just like in slow motion. I could just see everything, hearing beer bottles break and pool cues, and I mean, it was on, man. And then it was weird that Bruce ended up, it was pretty shitty. He ended up getting stabbed. I think it was like 6 times in the back or something like that.
Dang, I never knew that. That building is still there. It's a used car lot.
Yeah,
that was a cool place to jam. Even after we didn't really do much with rigor mortis, I guess, because they had gotten bigger. We started going back and Ab would always I'd call him up, hey, you got anything to play? Yeah, come on in. We got Eldritch Wright and you guys can play. Or he even, I think, hooked us up with Nuclear Assault one time. We got to open up for Nuclear Assault. So I mean, I liked the place. I thought it was cool.
The whole premise behind that too is he was just he built soccer fields so kids could have a place to play organized soccer. He was a huge used car salesman, and he used some of the proceeds, and this is just my understanding, so correct me if I'm wrong, but he built that place specifically so kids would have a place to come play. And the stage was huge, and the lights were big, and the PA was great. And he did it just so there was a place that you could bring your band and work on your chops. And the guy was like a real upstanding business figure here in the Fort Worth area. And in fact, that was right out off of it's as far west as you can be in Fort Worth and still be in Fort Worth. It's out off of US 80 and like Camp
80,
820 and 80, which is like old Camp Bowie or whatever that is. And we could probably do a whole show about Joe's Garage and places like it. I'm sure every town's got one, but that was particularly, bands couldn't play in Dallas. They wouldn't let them play, or it was kind of a trendy place.
That's right. I had remembered. Don't you guys ever play in Dallas? No, they don't have a place for metal bands in Dallas. It was you were big. There was the City Limits. I think there was a place called City Limits.
Yeah.
And then there was a place called Trees, but I think that you were that was like an alternative place or something like that.
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah, there just wasn't a very. I mean, there's the Basement and Galaxy and all those places that happened later after the 80s and into the 90s, but there was really not a place to play heavy metal anywhere in Dallas.
In the 90s, when we were suffering and we came up to play up here, we played with bands like Dead Industry. I think that was one of the bands we used to play with, Dead Industry. We would play at the Tattoo Bar. I think like Rita owned it, or I don't know what the story was behind that. We used to play there, and then some Texas Billiards in Arlington, I think it was.
Yep.
That way we
down
played
off of, I think it's off a Division.
Was there a place also called like Zombies or something up there?
There's a Zombies in San Antonio.
In San Antonio, there was a place that was like, I can't remember even what, but it was like really colorful. I remember for some reason it sticking out. It's like neon green or something, decorations or something. But
there's a lot of clubs that have come and gone since you guys first started playing.
Trees is still around.
Yeah, that's kind of the trendy pick for places to be. I mean, a lot of big bands play there.
Yeah, they booked some metal in there. And
what about Reno's?
Reno's is just around the corner there. Yeah, they do a lot of metal there.
We usually Anialator usually play. Well, when we would go up there, we did a lot of shows at Reno's with Chemicost.
Oh yeah, Ernie from
Chemicost. Yeah.
Great guy. Good band too. Chemicost rips. They're awesome.
Protest, Silver Tongue Devil.
Yeah. All still around, still doing something.
Arch Skull or Skull Archer.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of Rob's new recent finds.
And just different bands. I mean, it's cool. I don't like the parking over there. It sucks.
No.
You got to get there. You got to get there like 8 a.m. just to save your spot.
Just to find a good spot.
Yeah. Parking sucks.
Yeah, the scene's not quite what it used to be back in the 80s, but it seemed like, I mean, I guess everything kind of goes in ebbs and flows and it goes in waves, but yeah, so you're keeping it alive and you're going to go back with the Anialator moniker, and I can't wait for the new music.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. If you need any, I know that, you know a million people and you've got a ton of contacts, but if you need something, from me, if I can help out with mastering, let me know. And Scott, I mean, like I said,
we never have too many contacts, man.
Yeah, we all love metal, man. We all love metal, and we want to see you do well. So if we can help, we
appreciate that.
So hey,
and there's only one Anialator on Facebook. If just in case somebody might want to get confused on that, just type in Anialator TX, and it'll take you. You can, there's a lot of different websites on Facebook. There's a lot of different sites I've noticed, like with the Anialator name on there, but you'll know when you get to ours, it has like 4K on there, 4,000 something people on it. Okay. So, and just wanted to let anybody out there that was curious, just in case they've gotten solicited from another somebody else trying to be an Anialator, or somebody else, maybe a fan page or something like that, where you know where to find us. So
yeah, I'm trying to find it right now. Come on. I know it's got to be. There we go.
You gotta misspell the name.
No, I know. Ding dong.
Don't let the autocorrect get a hold of you.
No, I got you. Oh, they posted about the show, so thank you for doing that. Yeah, that's awesome. So speaking of bands touring, this is a bit of a left turn, and off the Anialator page for just a second. Oh, and somebody's saying Bandcamp. Do you guys have a Bandcamp page?
I think no, I don't think we do, unless Extreme Music Extreme has something up for us, but I don't know if we do or not. We might have started one. I remember at one time. I know we have like a Reverb Nation. We have an Instagram, and Facebook, basically.
Okay.
YouTube. I think we have we also have a YouTube channel that has just our music
I
on it.
saw that earlier. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, we usually do our shout outs at the beginning of the show, but today we're going to do them at the end really quickly, because I have some good news about a band that we were on to early on in their demo phase, and then they did an EP on Golden Robot Records.
Uh-oh.
They're from Australia. And they are coming to the U.S., boys.
Get out of town.
Stone Trip is coming to Los Angeles, and they are looking to book some dates throughout the country. They're going to try to be here for a little bit, so we're hoping for more. Not much we can say at this point. I've been talking to the management here this afternoon. Literally, as we were coming on the show, I'm getting a message from the manager, and I asked him what we could say, and he said, "Hey, man, Stone Trip is coming to L.A., and we are hopeful for more." So,
well, let's see if Alex can play. Get Anialator to open for him. Just we can take up the mantle from our friend Bruce.
Yeah,
may rest in power.
That would be an interesting twosome, a great white-ish band with Anialator. That would be
with a skull-crushing ripping band.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe not a good fit, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Super stoked for Stone Trip, and hopefully they can get out our way, and maybe we'll have a Casa de Carcass show.
That
Who
would be
Who
awesome.
knows? Well, Thrash or Be Thrashed. If you don't know Stone Trip, check out Stone Trip. They're it's not thrash, it's more of your traditional hard rock, heavy metal. It's like an edgier Great White kind of thing, but we love Stone Trip. So we've gotten to know those guys a little bit, and they've been really cool to us. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Did you guys have any shout outs before you?
Well, I was going to say, since we're talking about kind of a different genre of music, Alex, what are some of your influences, or what are you listening to these days? Or is it always metal, or do you listen to other things to kind of get you stoked for recording and so forth?
No, well, I guess it's like maybe 90% metal and the rest 10% silence. I don't listen to anything because I just don't sometimes. But Enforced, I just that band Enforced, I just came across them, and I thought they were pretty killer.
Yeah, solid.
And of course, I used to love Power Trip. I still do. I mean, not used to. Power Trip was one band that I used to go. Besides Slayer, was one band that I used to, when they played in Texas multiple times. Me and my wife would travel to go see them, and so yeah, Power Trip is cool. I listen to that. Just I guess when I want to come down and I've had I just want to kind of chill out, put on some Thunder and Lightning, Thin Lizzy, that album. That album.
Ever heard Osric Tentacles?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Scott for the win. Scott.
We almost got through an episode.
Well, Alex, you come up here to the Casa de Carcass. You're always welcome. Bring your lovely wife with you. You've got the Godzilla room. It's already got a reservation on it for you. You can hang out back there, and we'll introduce you to the Osric Tentacles.
All right.
With full light show and we can play some pool and experience the greatest fun
quickly
world.
Tell why this is funny.
Why? Well, it's not funny. It's greatness. We're trying to introduce him to a new, amazing band. We're just trying to be a good influence on the world.
So, Ding Dong, right down there. I can't point at him. There he is. So he's into this band called. I'm going to screw it up. I call them ostrich testicles. But they're Osric Tentacles. They're extremely good players. It's not my deal. But he has shoehorned the name of that band. We've done 135 episodes, and I think he's mentioned them in 118 of them.
And now Now see, Scott is so.
And now he's got his buddy in on it.
Right. Because Scott loves them too. And so. Yeah.
You guys are like fucking snipers, man. I thought we were gonna make it, and then pew, Scott gets me.
Surprise attack.
It's a metal attack.
There you go.
It is. Well,
You know, one thing I do regret that when Annihilator when the beginning when we first started, one thing I do regret is not ever doing a show with Gamma Side. We were on the same label and we never, I don't know, for some reason, never did a show with Gamma Side.
yeah, that just got reissued, man. They're Victims of Science. That CD just got redone on Scott's label.
Yeah, they just did it.
Yep. It came out
Pretty
great.
cool.
Just did.
We even, well, not Annihilator, but Sufferance even got to open up for Solitude, John Pettis' band. You know, it's like,
Oh yeah.
but we never got to do anything with Gamma Side.
Yep. Well, man, we're gonna wrap it up. We're a little over an hour, but Alex, I can't thank you enough. No, we're good.
No,
we
we're good.
2 hours if we wanted. It's no big deal.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have no constraints, but we try to turn them loose after about an hour. But I got to tell you, man, Alex, it's very nice to meet you. Thank you
Same here.
so much for coming on the show.
Yep.
If
Thank you
ever
guys
get
for
up-
having me on and helping me spread the Annihilator name.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
Get Texas represented again, you know. So
Yeah. And if you ever get up this way, hit us up and we'll get a burger or a beer or whatever
Sounds
suits
good,
you,
man.
man.
I'll take it all. Burger, beer.
Right.
Ostrich Tentacles.
Yeah.
I don't know what's that band called again? Ostrich Tentacles.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
And then you can make your own judgment. I don't force anybody's. I don't force any issue on people.
Send me the link. Make sure it's not a sausage link.
Yeah. No.
No. All right, boys. So for episode 135 of the Metal Roundtable, I am Metal Rob. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can follow the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. Scott Waters, who has 1 billion followers on YouTube, you can find him just by searching Scott Waters on YouTube. And go to Anialator on Facebook. Spread the word. It is Anialator TX on Facebook. Check those guys out. And thanks again, Alex. Now, here's how we do it. We throw the metal horns at the end and we say metal will prevail. So, until next time, kids, metal
will
prevail. And then he leaves us hanging like